1, 2, 3, 4. I think you're pretty without any makeup on. I think you're funny when you tell the punchline wrong. I know you get me, so I let my walls come down. Before you met me, I was alright, but things were kinda heavy. You brought me to life now every February. You'll be my Valentine. Let's just fall into the night. No regrets, just love. We can dance until we die. You and I will be young forever. You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on, I can't sleep. Let's run away and don't ever look back. Don't ever look back. My heart stops when you look at me. Just one touch. Now baby, I believe this is real. So take a chance and don't ever look back. Don't ever look back. We drove to Cali. You held me along the beach. No room for telling. Your taste is like candy sweet. Finally found you, my missing puzzle piece. I'm complete. Let's just fall into the night. No regrets, just love. We can dance until we die. You and I will be young forever. You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on, I can't sleep. Let's run away and don't ever look back. Don't ever look back. My heart stops when you look at me. Just one touch. Now baby, I believe this is real. So take a chance and don't ever look back. Don't ever look back. Got my heart racing in the skin tight jeans. Be my teenage dream tonight. I love the way you look at me in those skin tight jeans. Be my teenage dream tonight. Tonight. I think you're pretty without any makeup on. I think you're funny when you tell the punchline wrong. I know you get me, so I let my walls come down. Before you met me, I was alright, but things were kinda heavy. You brought me to life now every February.
Alright guys, so today I did legs. I warmed up previously to this exercise. I did sidewalks. I made sure I really stretched out my hips. I feel like lately I've been really tight on my hips, where I really have to focus on when I squat down to make sure my feet's in place, and my knees are kind of shaky as well. Probably just due to needing to stretch more since I'm doing more cardio. Just making sure that when we're warming up, we just warm up with the bar and making sure we're squeezing at top. So here the lighting just went out. I put 25 pounds on each side. Here we're doing 45. This is already in my working set, so making sure I'm coming down. I don't want to go all the way down to where I'm starting to feel it in my back. I really still want to engage that core. So I don't want to squat down too far yet until I kind of strengthen my core and my quads a little bit, so I don't create that butt wink. So here towards the end of the set I did more volume, so I added 3 10s and then I did about 20, and then I took out off weights after 20 reps. So here, this is where I took off the third plate. This is where I have 20 on each side, which is kind of pulsated. Here in my last one, where I really try to squeeze. Since I am more quad dominant, I try to really engage in that butt, sticking it out, really focusing and trying to open up those knees instead of keeping them closer together. Ooh, it burns. Yep. Okay, now I'm gonna do good mornings. This is really gonna help with the glute and hamstring tie-in. I really want to bring those out this time at the show, and making sure I'm squeezing at the top, arching my lower back. And I put the plates at the floor just so I know that I'm pushing off with my heels and not with my toes. So here this is my last set. Really focusing on the mind and muscle connection here. Then I moved on to leg press. I warmed up with this set, making sure that I'm opening the hips. Again, here I'm having trouble too, just really focusing on opening up those knees. I felt strong today, it was just my muscles just feel a little tighter than normal. So here's my working set. I start off with 3 plates and then I'm gonna drop set down. That's something that I was working on this week, is doing more drop sets in my workout. I did about 15 each drop set, and the last drop set I think I did about 20. And remember to exhale, inhale. Sometimes I go really fast, and then I kind of lose that mind and muscle connection there. Here's my second working set. See how I kind of go fast. And then the last working set, I kind of switched up my leg positioning a little bit. Just kind of add variation. Pushing off with your heels, making sure my toes is aligned a little bit off the pad, just because I'm a little bit more shorter. Whereas I'm kind of like, oh, I can do legs, but I can feel like my hips are a little bit tighter than normal, or like my quads and hamstrings are a little bit tight. So I made sure I like warmed up really well today, so I don't like injure myself, and that's the least I want, like almost 9 weeks out and then having to hurt myself or anything. So I gotta make sure that I warm up properly, and then slowly making sure that I don't push myself to the point where I'm gonna injure myself. So I was definitely pushing weight during my squats that you'll see later, but just not to where I can't really do the weight. I needed a spotter, so I really focused on the mind and muscle connection. So a lot of times when people always ask me like what kind of workouts I do, so I really do listen to my body and try to get really in tune with it, not just with the food. So for instance, like if I feel like my body is getting tired, sometimes I'll take a rest day, but I feel like I can still work out. I just gotta make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So warming up before I do squats. So I do like a hip stretch. I'll make sure I do about 30 seconds on each side. I'll do quick side lunges, front lunges, squats, making sure I am foam rolling my back, my hamstrings, my quads, my IT band, like everything on my lower body, just so I know I'm not gonna hurt myself. So then that's when I tell myself like, yeah, I'm gonna be working on glutes today. So making sure that every time I squat, I'm gonna be connecting with it. So what I mean is when I'm squatting, when I come up, I make sure I squeeze. Making sure that when I squeeze, I don't lock my knees, or when I do deadlifts, I make sure when I bring it up, I swing my hip forward and also squeeze my glutes. So not trying to use my back as much, but focusing on the muscle group I really want to focus on. So if I really want to focus on my quads, which is pretty dominant on my body type, so I want to have that definition. So I want to lift heavy, but I also want to engage my glutes as well. I know it's probably really hard to do if you're still new But if you were to start off at a lighter weight, for example, if you were to squat just like the bar, I'll always warm up with the bar and just kind of remind yourself squatting down. You're making sure that your hips are open and your knees are passing your toes. So you're squatting, and then when you come up, you're going to really emphasize on the squeeze. So making sure that you're starting off light and then just working up to a weight till you can feel like a sweat, like this is a workout. So legs typically is when sometimes I don't do cardio because of the intensity is high enough. So adding that volume and doing drop sets and making sure that you're doing it heavy enough to where you can complete like a full set. A full set should be around 12 to 15 reps. So you can kind of, depending on your what level you're at, that's what I usually aim for. Nothing less than like 8, unless you're doing like super heavy squats or deadlifts or anything like that. So yeah, that was my day. So just watch my video. If you guys have any questions, you can comment below and I'll respond. All right. So my last meal is usually protein with almond butter. So then I use the Select protein. It's this. It's the Snickerdoodle flavor. I use that with the crunchy almond butter. And then since I'm always using it as like a shake, or I do it as I blend it and then I either put in the fridge or I do it like a smoothie, I decided to try something different this time. So I tried to bake it. Nice and big and fluffy. I hope they come out good. Never made these before. Well, they never come out good. This time I actually usually I just do it without it, just because I'm very simple when it comes to making my meals. I want to do things that are that I don't have to do a lot of ingredients for. So that's why when I do recipes, it's like simple. I just like put a little bit here and put a little bit there and then there. And I don't do too much during meal prep, just because the longer I feel like I'm in the kitchen, the more hungrier I get. So so this was really simple. I just put 1 scoop of the protein powder in there, and then I put a little, I put the sweetener that I got. These are the sweet drops. These are English toffee. It's all natural, 0 calories. It's by Sweet Leaf. This is kind of pricey. I bought it at what did I buy it at? Sprouts. But I think if you use a drop or two, it goes a long way. So I really think it's worth it just to get just to either put in your oatmeal, and you know how I always cook my oatmeal different. Like this time I've been kind of frying it, so I would put water in it and then I would put in the microwave for like 30 seconds. I'll split it up into 2 30-second time periods. Then I added a little bit of zucchini this time, just to add a little bit of volume, and then I kind of put on the pan next to the egg, and then I kind of fried it a little bit just to add a little bit of texture. Like I said before, when you're on prep, you want to add a different variety of foods. You don't want to have I mean, you can't really add, for me, I can't really add a lot of variety of foods because I'm on a specific meal plan. But then if you were to change the texture of it, it just makes it a little bit, it tastes a little bit better, and then it just makes you feel like, oh, I'm eating oatmeal again. You know, when you do different types of oatmeal, or like just me changing my protein, I think it, you know, it's just different, and I feel like it makes my mood a lot happier too. Okay, let's see. Alright, let's see if it's done.
I think you're pretty without any makeup on. I think you're funny when you tell the punchline wrong. I know you get me, so I let my walls come.